Hello Virgo, Elsie here to do your reading. It is for the month of March. We're going to take a peek into March, the overall energy for March. Look, Virgo, there's a lot going on in March. Planetarily, there's a lot going on. So check with your favorite astrological person on the platform to see exactly what's going on in your sign. I'll just give you the crib notes. I'll give you the overview. So I'm using a moonology today, and it's because there is a new moon in Pisces today. So happy new moon to you. And that's not all that's going on. Right now, Mercury is stationed direct in Pisces, but it is going to be moving into Aries on the 3rd of March. And then it's going to be going retrograde on the 15th. So we do have a retrograde happening in the middle of a couple of eclipses. So one is happening in your sign, Virgo, on the 13th or the 14th. It's a total lunar eclipse. And then we have a partial solar eclipse happening at the end of the month. So you see there's a lot going on. So when Mercury retrogrades in Aries, what could go wrong? Well, a little bit of heightened impulsive, maybe some intense communication, maybe a little bit of arguing because of misunderstandings, right? It could be that. So, yeah, expect the unexpected, friend. What do you need to release? Well, I think you're going to get a chance to do some of that because the eclipses are all about releasing energy, releasing things that no longer serve us. Whether we want to release them or not, the eclipses come along and boom, take something away that just never served us. And so it could be a lot of things that are unplanned, that go sideways, that are a little bit unplanned. We do have conclusions are within reach. Full moon eclipse. There it is. It's in your sign, my friend. And it is going down, like I said, on the 13th or the 14th of March, depending on what part of the world you are in. So this is like the beginning, the middle, and the end of the month. And then I'm going to throw some tarot at this. Virgo, let's find out what's going on for you. What else do we need to know for Virgo? We've got communicate. So it says receive or express the truth. So there is some sort of a truth that is going to be showing up for you. I feel like all of the planetary movements, there is some sort of something that is going on for you here between the eclipses and the retrogrades that is going to expose some sort of a truth. So maybe you're communicating it to someone, or maybe they're saying it to you. It says receive or express the truth. So maybe this is something that you're releasing. Maybe you just need to release a burden. We've got the bottom of the deck realignment, shift your perspective for a gained sense of clarity. So you are going to get clarity on something that I think you've been wondering about. It feels like there is going to be some sort of release that's going on for you over the month. We'll talk about that a little bit. Tell me more about Virgo, please, in the month of March 2025. Tell me about Virgo. Tell me about Virgo. We've got a message to pass on. Oh, let's take one more card. Message to pass on. What is the message about? We've got anger. Oh, maybe you're going to hear somebody's really upset with you. This could be what this communication is about. We do have card number 9, though. So I want to say hermit energy is present. I'm going to say go over the details. You are the hermit, in fact, right? Go over details. I feel like somebody feels hurt by you. Maybe something you said. There's a sword here. And swords are communications and connections. There's a message to pass on. Somebody might come to you with communication saying that someone is upset with you for something you said or did. It might have been during some sort of communication, right? 42 is a 6, and that's reciprocal energy. And so I was saying, as March is going in this March, as Mercury is going retrograde in Aries, that there could be intense communications, maybe impulsive things are said, and somebody might be telling you that another person might be upset with you about something that was said. We do have a message of love. It's coming up in the reverse here. So message of love, I mean, maybe it is supposed to be coming up in the reverse. Maybe maybe you're like, you don't care. Maybe you don't really care if they're pissed off with you. Maybe it's like, no love lost here. I feel like that's sort of the energy of the reverse card. But I feel like it's something that's designed by the creator or the universe, that maybe this person is supposed to be learning a lesson. Maybe what you said to them was something that no one would ever say to them. It could be that too. Maybe you were the messenger. All right, let's talk about it. Let's talk about tarot for Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter over the month of March. What do you need to release, my friend? What do you need to release over the month of March? I think that you're going to be releasing some things, and I think that the universe is going to help you release some things that maybe you've not wanted in your life but couldn't bring yourself to disconnect from here. What do you need to release? we've got the Seven of Pentacles. I feel like you've been putting a lot of hard work into something and you're not really getting much return on it. It feels like there's a lot of nurturing going on. Like it almost feels like you're treating someone with kid gloves, and a lot of nurturing going on. I feel like you're the one that's putting in all of the energy, feeling like you're not getting much out of it here. It's also like, I feel like I'm always waiting for this person, waiting for them to say something, waiting for them to text me. We've got the Five of Wands in the reverse. And to me, this is no more indecision. It feels like I really know what I want now, what I want to release. And I have no more indecision, but I am going to wait a little bit and find out what I should do first. I feel like whatever it is that you're releasing, you feel justified in releasing it. I feel like you've put in all the energy that you can put in there, Virgo. I feel like you've given enough service. You're always in the service of others. I feel like it comes to a situation where somebody is taking you for granted, is what it feels like. Taking you for granted, the hard work that you're putting into a relationship or a friendship, or maybe even in the workplace. It is Pentacles, right? After all. Tell me more about Virgo, please. We've got the Four of Cups. You're over it. You're bored with it. It's become a stagnant situation. And I feel like that's why it's so easy for you to say, you know what? I'm not even going to worry about this anymore. I'm going to take my hat out of the ring. I don't need to be in all of this competition. I'm good. I feel I'm just justified by walking away from the situation because it's already become very stagnant. We could be talking about something that you need to step away from so you can begin to be happy again. So your cup can overflow again. So you can love someone else or love yourself again. It feels like with the Five Cups here, it feels like there is a little bit of regret that you have to go, but I think that you do. In order to be happy and balanced, I feel like you have to disconnect from someone because I feel like you're doing all the work and they're sitting idly on their hands, not really doing anything, and the situation has worn itself out. I feel like in order for you to be happy within the self, the Nine of Cups I find it is about wish fulfillment, but it's about the inner fulfillment of wishes. It's more about doing things on your own, knowing that you accomplished it and being happy about that thing. So I feel like you've decided that you need to go because it's going to give you balance. It's like retribution, or you're having something restored or paid back. It's the only way to restore the situation is for you to walk away. And I think that you are releasing something here. You could be releasing a Libra. You could be releasing someone who is maybe an earth sign, a fire sign, or a water sign. We do have the Three of Swords. And, you know, the thing is I don't think that you enjoy it. I don't think you're getting any joy in releasing whatever this is. It could be a job or a person. But I feel like, when justice shows up, it could be a legal thing. Like maybe you're just like walking away and saying, okay, you know what? That's the decision that you made. I'm just going to walk away. If a divorce is what you want, I'm just going to go. I just need to, it feels like, yeah, if the sky's orange, sure. Yeah, whatever. 2 and 2 is 8. I feel like you're just like, no, I don't want to fight anymore. But I don't think it makes you feel good. I feel like you will be happier once you walk away, but I don't think it makes you feel good that you had to give up on somebody because you're terribly loyal, right? Tell me about communicate, receiving, or expressing the truth. That this is over. I feel like it's a receiving and expressing. I feel like you get this information from the universe. Communication is like, this is over. I got to be done with it. It feels like it's the end of a chapter or the end of a cycle. It feels like you're throwing the book away. I've already read the book. I've read it many times. It says the same thing every time I read it. I don't learn anything from it anymore. It's time for me to put the book down. We do have the Seven of Wands. And the Judgment card. I feel like this communication is the end of things. I feel like you will be having a final communication with someone where you will speak the truth. And the door is closing. I think that you've decided to speak the truth to somebody in the middle of the month because Mercury is in Aries. And I feel like you're sort of up in your head about, you know, it's like the tension is building. It's an intense communication. And I feel like the Judgment card is your decision to put something to bed and move on because the World card is here. And it's the end of the line. It's the end of a chapter. It's the end of, you know, whatever this was. It's the end. It's time to release it. And so I feel as though you feel like your back is against the wall. There really isn't anything else that you can do. The Judgment card is telling me, I just need to. It's just what I need to do. And so this now makes a little more sense, because the communication of this is over. I'm not doing this with you anymore. Maybe you quit a job. Maybe you leave a relationship. But it feels like maybe it's a friendship that's over. But it feels like this makes more sense now, because it feels like you've just had enough and you are closing the door and taking a different path. I feel like the universe is giving you a chance to do something over again or make something right, but I don't think you're doing it again with a person. I think if it's a relationship you're leaving, I think you're going to get another chance to get into a different relationship. But I feel like you've learned a lesson, and that is that I need boundaries with people who do not have boundaries. Because I feel like somebody was like sucking the life out of you and just thinking that you were always going to be there. 7 of Pentacles. Virgo is always going to be there. I'm just going to do what I want, and Virgo will show up to save me. We do have the Queen of Pentacles. We have the 4 of Pentacles. And we have the King of Swords. Very interesting. It does feel like possibly that you have just cut off somebody's cash cow, is what it feels like. It feels like this person came to you for everything. Probably money. Maybe can I stay at your house? It feels like you've cut somebody off here with the 4 of Pentacles, saying no more. No. Now I'm miserly with my time, with my energy, with my communication. I feel like you completely back away from a situation. The King of Swords is somebody who is just going to be straight up. I feel like you're not even appeasing anyone anymore. Whatever the situation is here, whether it was an employer or a friend or a family member or maybe someone that you were dating, you're not in it to appease anybody anymore. You're just like, it doesn't work for me anymore. I don't think we're going to do this. And I feel like you cut someone out, or verbally cut someone out. It feels like that. And now, again, this makes a little more sense, that you get a message that somebody is angry with you. And we do have a sword in his hand, and the sword is in this person's, through this person's hand. So I feel like maybe whatever you said was very cutting, but I have a feeling, Virgo, that it was the truth. I don't think you were lying just to be mean or vindictive. I think it was the truth. You gave someone the analytics. You're like, this is the data. You can't argue with the data. And I don't think that they could. We do have the moon energy here, but what happens from here, we don't know, right? So the moon energy is a little bit of feeling very deeply like, ugh, I wish I didn't have to do that, but I can't be taken advantage of like that anymore. I feel like you're deep in your feelings, sort of around mid-month, very deep in your feelings here, but it feels like what's coming up is Mercury moving in retrograde, moving back into Pisces on the 30th, right? And so that is going to make you look inward a little more. That feeling like, I was misled. Like, it feels very emotional. I was misled. This person was lying to me. Like, it feels like you start going over the details of a conversation, and now you realize what was going on. So I feel like the moon energy is a little bit of shadow work, possibly, as Mercury retrogrades back into Pisces on the 30th. So it does feel like that. Tell me about this message to pass on. Somebody's got a message that they're going to pass on to you from somebody else that was really upset or hurt in the way that you acted. But I feel that you did that for a reason, Virgo. We do have the Knight of Swords. Look, the Knight of Swords is not making any bones about anything. I feel like you just gave it to this person and said, here, you sort it out. You made the mess. You're the one that gets to sort it out here. The Knight of Swords is, I feel like somebody like you, I feel like you're just like saying it. I don't really care. I don't really care if this person is mad at me. I have to move forward. I feel like this is a really big change in you, Virgo. And I don't think I've ever met a Virgo who doesn't speak their mind, but understand that not everybody has the same moon and rising sign. Not everybody is prepared to stand up for themselves and just speak out and say, look, here's the facts. I'm just going to give them to you. You can work out the analytics. But the wheel tells me this was a much needed change. It's a destined change. And I think that you were paying attention, listening to the universe. So I think this message to pass on that somebody's angry with you is like, whatever, it is what it is. I'm moving forward anyway. I made the change I needed to make in order to dislodge the wheel. It's like the knight picked the sword out of the wheel and now the wheel can turn. And so I feel like by saying something, you actually moved forward. So this is expansion. This is really big change. I feel like this is beneficial and fortunate change that's moving forward for you. Look, conclusions are within reach. I feel like you are coming to conclusions in your mind in the month of March. Like, I don't really need this anymore. You're realigning yourself with who you really are. And so the realignment card is here, right? It feels like you're really making a a lot of decisions that are bringing you back into a realignment of who you know that you are. And so I want to say that the message that you get that's asked to be passed on comes through a friend. So the friend might say, you really hurt that person's feelings. And you're going to be like, yeah, it is what it is, right? I had to do it, and I had to let this person know exactly what was going on in my mind, because I had to release it, right? The full moon eclipse, and that is in your energy. So I feel like maybe somewhere around the 14th, the 13th, something like that, is when this goes down, when you finally decide to let this go. Things come to a conclusion, and that brings you back into realignment. And then after that, I feel like somebody comes to you and says, that person's really upset with you, that you're not speaking with them, because card number 9 is the Hermit energy. And you're like, I don't care. I really don't care. I've got my stability. I've begun again. I'm feeling pretty stable. I'm doing something that I enjoy, and I've got a new group of friends. I've got a new community or a new network with people that I trust. I feel that's your biggest move, your expansion. We were talking about this message of love here, right? So it does feel like there is something coming up here that you have a choice about. I feel like there is a new love that comes in at the end of March. This Knight of Wands here could be someone new, could be someone not new, but it feels like this person is coming in kind of aggressively. It could be a love bomber. Be careful of that. And by this time, Mercury retrograde is going to be in Pisces, which is going to confuse you just a little bit, and it's going to make you feel emotional. You could be misled at this time, and so it's going to take some really deep reflection to know if this Knight of Wands is the real deal. I feel like you're going to let it go. The 10 of Wands is here now, the 9 and the 10. You've been hurt too much. And when somebody came in as the love bomber, I feel like you're making a choice to just let it go, pass it by. I don't need this. I don't think you're ready for it, honestly. I feel like you've been hurt too much at this point, and you're scared of being taken advantage of by another person. You haven't yet healed. Yeah, so you do release it here. We got the 10 of Swords at the bottom of, at the end of the month here, the last week. I feel like you are just releasing something because it's too painful. You keep getting hurt. You keep getting betrayed. People are taking advantage of your kindness because you are the one that's in service. And I feel like you're finally just laying it out for people this month is what it feels like. Yep, some things are coming to an end here. It was things that you were holding on to that you really didn't. It feels like you didn't want to hurt people's feelings. You didn't want to drop the burdens. You wanted to help carry the burdens for people. But I think you come to this realization that you were carrying things for way too long. And after going over details and figuring out that I'm on this journey for the long haul, it's time for me to start letting go of things that I don't necessarily need anymore. All right, let's put down a few Lenormands before we go here. Virgo, tell me about Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. We have, there you go. You are making the path for yourself here. The 10 of Wands is on the bottom right-hand corner of that card, and it feels to me like you are breaking free of some sort of codependency. So I feel like there was a codependency that was created between you and somebody. Maybe it's a person who loved you. Maybe it's a person who was a platonic friend. Whatever it is, it feels like you are now, polar bears are big animals, and they are leaders, right? They are the ones who make all the paths in the wintertime for all the smaller animals. It feels like you are the leader here. I want to say you're the one that had to take the lead with the communication and deliver the truth to somebody, whether it hurt or not. So you could then get yourself grounded. Roots here, right? We've got the tree of life. It feels like it was something that you needed to do for yourself, needed to do for your life. The 7 of Hearts is in the bottom right-hand corner, which is the 7 of Cups. I feel like by ending something here, it's like the universe needed to know that you really meant business. And by ending something that a situation that was taking advantage of you, I feel like you open up this new, beautiful tree of life here. It feels like you get more grounded. Feels like you grow some roots somewhere. We do have card number 6, which is it's the bright sky and the clouds. I feel like you're still sort of back and forth in this energy of maybe I shouldn't have, maybe I should have. It's like the moon energy, right? It's like It feels like you have good days and bad days, I want to say. That you're on your own, doing your own thing, but you do have good days and bad days. We do have card number 28, which is a 10. It feels like you have a new beginning in love here that is coming in. And so I don't feel like it's coming up anytime soon, probably not until the months that are coming up, April, May, June. But it does have the Ace of Cups in the bottom right-hand corner. And it feels this person has Mars around the neck, right? So, and Mars is Aries. And so I want to say that I feel like it could even be in the month of March that you decide that, you know what, maybe I will be able to love again. But I feel like the Ace of Cups is where we end here. It does feel like you're sort of in two minds about it. Some days you feel like you can, some days you feel like you can't, but you know that you'd like to grow roots, maybe get married, maybe find a relationship that is very solid, grounded, and rooted. I feel like you're going to have to take charge on that one. I feel like you've been through enough, really, in the month of March, but I feel like there are, choices that are to be made after this. But I feel like you're going to get stable first with the Queen of Pentacles in the bottom right-hand corner. You're going to get some stability first before you start making any choices on anything else, because this is a full month for you, Virgo. I'm going to go for now. Thank you so much for being here and watching. I do appreciate you, and I'll be back because I'm always back, Virgo. I hope you are too. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you. Have a good March. Bye-bye.